Today I'm going to show you how to straighten your hair using the Maxi straightener, a paddle brush, some clips, some heat defense, and a comb and some oil. I'm going to split my hair over my shoulders because I'm going to be working in a mirror, so I'm going to give my hair a good brush through, making sure that all the knots are out, and split it into two. I'm then going to use my heat defense, give it a shake, give it a glisten over at arm's length so it gets much more coverage, and then give that a nice brush through as well, just to distribute it through the hair. So again, make sure it's fully over your shoulders and take your first section. And I'm doing this with the Max GHDs, but you can do it with original GHDs, that's perfectly fine, or any straightener. So I'm clipping my hair out of the way and I've got my two sections. Give it a brush and I'm holding on to it this time. I'm going to get my comb, hold it in my thumb and my forefinger, and I'm going to get my straighteners and I'm going to go in as close as I can to the root, and I'm going to use my comb to help support my hair while I'm taking that straightener through it. It's a good way of not burning your fingers also, because your hair will get hot while you're straightening your hair. So you can see that that was enough to straighten it over. You don't have to go over it a lot, you just have to go over it about 3 or 4 times. So again, I'm going in, I'm using my comb to hold onto my hair so that I can get in there with my straightener and take it away from my skin. So there we are. So I'm on to the next piece. I take down my next section. And I'm going to do this on both sides. And I'm going to twist it up and clip it up out of the way. That's it, and pull it over my shoulders again, give it a brush. Get my comb and I'm going to go into my first section. So I've split it into 2 this time. So again, I've gone round the face, being careful near the ear. I've gone 1, 2, 3. And I've gone to my little tiny bits because I get nice little wiry bits around my ears. So the second section, you can see that I split it with my finger and I'm holding it with the comb because I don't want to go underneath. I don't want to do that section again. I've already done it. This is how people go wrong and they burn their hair. And I see lots of damage underneath from where people do that. So again, I'm going to put my finger through. You can see that I've left that part. I'm going to go in. 1, 2. And that was enough for that part. So now I'm going to go back to the next part. But you can see the hair that's still underneath. I'm only taking the part I need to straighten, which is why it's good to use that comb if you can. And literally twice that was. So it was very, very easy. I'm not going to keep going over it because it's unnecessary. So I'm going to take my next section. Pin that up out of the way. And the other side. Oh, my hair's decided to flop everywhere. I'm going to pin it up out of the way. That's it. Take my 2 sections. And again, I tend to give it a good brush. Just helps glide the straighteners through your hair. And again, I'm going to pick up that section. So 1, 2, and then at the back, I'm going to take that section. 1, 2, 3. And right at the very back where I can feel it still a little bit fuzzy, I'm just going to go over it a further 2 times. So again, I'm going in and again, and then I'm going to go back and use my comb as my guide, and I'm going to go down the hair shaft. Because again, I don't want to go over all of it all of the time. So I'm going to go right to the back Get my next section. And that's done. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to bring my next part down. So I've gone in, separated it again. Make sure I've got a nice even section. Clip that bit up out of the way. And then over to the other side. Finger straight the way through and pull the section apart. And then clip that piece out of the way. So again, I'm only picking up the hair that I haven't straightened. You don't want to keep going over hair that's already been straightened. That's the worst possible way to burn your hair. So again, I've given it a brush and I've gone in there and I've got my comb. And my comb is my guide, so you can see that it's holding the hair out of the way for me, but it's also showing me where I need to go over with the straighteners. So again, onto the other side, I've got my finger there to take up the hair that I've taken down, and I've gone straight in there. And again, using my comb as a guide for my straighteners. Round to the back. And that's great, I'm happy with that. Lots of people over straighten their hair and it's really, really not necessary. And the other thing that people don't do is they don't section their hair, and that is one of the most important things. Because could you imagine going over the bottom piece sort of 20 times because you're trying to get it all in that plate? It's not gonna be good for your hair at all. So that's why sectioning is so important. So you can see I've gone straight back in there again, put my comb underneath to hold my hair. And that's twice, 3 times. And then my front section. You can see there's a little bit there. So I've picked it up and I've gone in there as close as I possibly can. Twice, 3 times, and I'm happy with that. I'm just going to go over my fringe a little bit. So there we are. And then on to the next section. I'm going to give it all a bit of a brush because my hair is a little bit wild. Split it into 2 and go straight in there. But I'm holding on to that end to show support, and there's my comb. Because I want to support my hair with the comb while my straighteners do the work. And I've gone straight into the front section. 2, 3 times. You notice I didn't go right up to the root. I'm going to pick up my fringe and that's it. So I'm happy with how that is. I'm going to give it all a good brush through. Bring it in the front again, and then I'm going to take my Moroccan oil, because it's always good to finish with a finishing product when you've used a heat defense. So there's my oil. I'm going to rub it all in my hands, all into my fingers, and I'm going to put it into my ponytails, and I'm just going to gently pull it through. I'm not going to go near my root because I don't want a greasy root. I just want to be able to run that through the ends of my hair and give it a good brush through to distribute it everywhere. And that's a really good treatment to do after you've straightened your hair. So there we are, hair straightening.